Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. So today I'm here with a new super easy blank interactive album to share with you. So let's take a look. Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today I am super excited to share this with you because this is probably one of the cutest mini albums that I have created. So I'm calling this my miniature mini album. This book measures 5.5 by 5.5 and it's just the cutest thing. I love the proportions of this book. It is just a tiny version of a regular 8 by 8 mini album, and I know we have done 6 by 6 before, we have done 4 by 4, but there's something about this size that just looks like a little mini me of the regular 8 by 8. So I wanted this book to feel like an 8 by 8, just on a miniature version. So we have all of our pages are super fun and interactive. So we're gonna be creating this book from start to finish right now. I also went ahead and created a cutting guide for this book, so I'm gonna have that link down below. On the cutting guide, of course, you're gonna have page by page instructions, dimensions on how to cut, and also I'm including in there some different options for the insert pages. So for this book, I am using the Easy Hinge mini album style, but also I went ahead and made this into pocket pages. So I really love how this turned out. So let's go ahead and take a look. So when we open this up, we have over here this fun little three-dimensional pop-up place for a picture, as you can see here. So you can add a picture here. You can even use this as a little belly band and add some more photo mats in there. On the next page, we have a gatefold page here and a little easel page, which I just love. Again, the little miniature version of this book. Each one of the pages, like I said, is a pocket page, so you can add more photo mats in there as well. On this next page, we have a nice and cute sliding page, so it slides up. You can put a picture right in there. On the next page, this opens to the side, and then these two open down, so that way you can have a nice large place for a picture. If you like your 12 by 12 papers and you don't know how to cut them, this is the perfect way to try to fully display those 12 by 12 pages as well on a small scale. Then over here we have another pocket. For the next page, we have a belly band that slides up and down, so we're just gonna push this all the way up, and then this is gonna open down and open up. And on the inside, we have an accordion fold page, so tons of room for pictures here. And then we're gonna close that up, close this up, and then we're gonna slide this belly band right back to the center of the book. On this next page, this opens up, and this page opens to the side, and then up here we have a pocket, so you can add some photos in there, and then close and close, and again with the pocket page here. The next page is a sliding page here again, so we have a sliding waterfall page, so it opens up like that, and you can put 4 by 5 pictures on each one of these, and on the back there as well. So I love how that came out. Again, I love the miniature version of this book, and still very interactive and very playful. This opens here and opens to the side, and then we have another accordion fold going up, and then this closes and closes. And on the last page we have a pop-up, so you just open this to the side, and we have a nice little display there for a picture, which I love. And on the inside back cover, we have a simple pocket. So a super cute, really interactive, really fun miniature little album. Again, I do have the cutting guide, so I always appreciate all your support to my channel. Either you purchase the cutting guide or becoming a member or joining my Patreon. I always appreciate all of you guys, so I want to thank you so much. And now let's go ahead and make this together. Okay, so to make this book, I'm going to be using 2 pieces of chipboard. These were cut at 5.5 by 5.5, and then I have 1 piece cut at 5.5 by 2.5. And we are going to wrap these on some lightweight cardstock. So I'm going to join 2 of these together, and we are just going to put this piece right here, press down, and then we're going to glue our chipboard pieces, and we're going to leave a little space in between. Okay, so I'm just gonna add the first one here, and then we're going to add the next chipboard piece and leave a little space in between these 2. And then we're going to do the other side. Right here, and then again leave a little space between those 2. So I'm just going to press down, and we're going to cut all the extra cardstock. So I'm just going to cut over here, this side. Cut this out, and then I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. And then we're going to cut the corners out like that. I could probably make this a little smaller too. So you only want about 1 inch all around, and then take out the corners here. Then we are going to add some double-sided tape. So I'm going to use my tape, and we are going to add this on each side. Okay, so we're just gonna press down, and then I'm gonna add this one over here, and then place this right there like that. And then we're just going to fold the cardstock and press down. Okay, so I'm going to press down and remove the tape. Okay, so we're just gonna remove the tape and press down, and then you want to score here on these bending gaps right there, and then do the same for the other side. So press down, and then we're going to remove and press down here, and then we're going to just give it a tug here around the chipboard. So just press down, and then we're going to fold this piece, and again remove and press down, and then we're going to do the other side, and then fold, press down. And then we're going to cut another piece from a lightweight cardstock, and this is going to measure 5 1/4 by 5 inches. And we are just going to glue this piece on the spine. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my glue, and then also add glue next to the gap areas here. And we're just gonna put that piece right here at the center, and we are going to press down, and then we're going to score along the bending lines. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this dry here for a minute, and then we're just gonna give it a score on top of the gap lines. Okay, so 1 and 2 over here, and then we're going to fold and just press down in the bending section. So as you fold up, you want to press down on the gap, just like that. Okay, now we're going to work on the base pages. So for the base pages, I am going to cut 4 pieces. We're going to be switching to the 110-pound cardstock for this step. So we are going to cut 4 pieces at 5.5 by 6. Okay, so same for these 2, 5.5 by 6, and we are going to score along the 6 inches at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. So I'm just going to place this here, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and same thing for the next one. Then we're going to cut 2 pieces at 5.5 by 6.5. Okay, so 4 pieces, sorry, not 2, 4 pieces. Okay, so 5.5. I just want to double check that this is 5.5 by 6.5, and we are going to score along the 6.5. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 6 inches, and along the 5.5 we are going to score at 1/2 inch, and we're going to do the same for all of these pieces here. And then these pieces are going to be pockets, so we're going to cut the corners where the 2 score lines meet. So we're just going to take those out, like that, and like this. And then we're going to fold along the score lines. And then we are going to be gluing these pockets on each one of our pages. So you want to hold your page so these score lines are on the left side, and then we're going to glue the pocket so the opening is towards the right side. Okay, so we're just going to glue that right here on top, and we are going to add the glue here, and we're going to put that right on top of the other page and press down, and that is going to be our base page with a pocket insert, and we're going to repeat the same for all of these. So we have our 4 base pages. And now before I glue these onto my book, I'm going to add just some quick and easy layouts to each one of these. For the first page, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 5.5 by 3, and we are going to score along the 3 inches at 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're gonna do 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch here, and we are going to fold along the score lines, and we're gonna bring our first page and add one of these pieces on each side. So I'm going to add my glue and line this up to the left side, and then press down. Okay, and then we are going to add the glue and add the other one on the other side and press down. Okay, so then we're gonna open, and we have a cute little gatefold page. Now for the inside of my gatefold page, I am going to cut 1 piece, and this is going to be 6 inches by 4 3/4, and we are going to score along the 6 inches. We're going to score at 2 3/4 and at 5.5, and we're going to fold along the score line and fold along the score line, and we're just gonna leave this one flat, and we are going to cut another piece. This one is going to be 4 3/4 by 5.5, and we are going to glue this second piece on top of this section here. So you have your 1/2 inch score line along the top, and on this bottom section we are going to add this second piece. So we're just gonna match the corners and press down, and then we're going to bring this back, open this up, and we're going to glue this piece here at along the top. Okay, and just add this piece right at the center and press down and press down. Okay, so this is going to open up and be a cute little easel card inside your gatefold. Now we're going to add a small stopper for that easel card. So we're going to cut a piece. I'm going to use a new page here, but this is going to be about 2.5 by we're gonna do 5 3/4. Okay, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, so 1/2 inch along the 2.5, and then along the 5 3/4 we're gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 5 1/4, and then we're going to cut the corners, and this is going to be our little pocket. Okay, and fold that, and then we're going to bring back our page, open that up, and we're gonna put this pocket right at the center. So we're going to add the glue on these 3 sides, and we're going to place this piece right on along the bottom of the page. Okay, so make sure that it is center, just like that, and press down and press down. Okay, so now this little piece is making a pocket so you can add some things in there, and then also adds as a little stopper for your easel display. And then we're gonna close these, and these two are gonna close here on top, and then you're gonna add some magnets to keep this closed. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on page number 2. I'm going to use some of my little scrap pieces, and we're gonna cut these at 1 by 6.5, and then I'm going to do another one that is going to be 3 by 1, and we're going to also cut another piece here, and this is going to be 5.5 by 5, and we're going to score these little pieces. We're going to score the one that measures 6.5 at 1/2 inch and at 6, and the one that measures 3 inches, we're going to do 1 1/8 and 2 1/4. And we're going to fold and join these sections together to make this little loop, and then we're gonna pass the loop through this piece here and fold your score lines back, and then we're going to bring back our page, and we're simply going to place these along the left side, and we're going to add the glue on these 2 1/2 inch sections. Place that right there and press down and press down. Okay, then we're going to slide this little piece all the way down, and we're going to add glue on the loop and add our 5 by 5.5 piece. So you're just gonna place this piece right on top of your base page and line it up with that, and then we're going to press down, and now this is going to be a little sliding page going up like that. Super cute and page number 3. I'm going to cut one piece at 5.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score these along the 5.5, along one of the sides. We're gonna score at 1/2 inch and fold along the score line. We're going to bring our page, and we're going to glue this piece along the right side of the base page here. So we are going to just line these up and press down. Then I'm going to cut another page, and this one is going to be, or we're gonna do 2 pieces actually, and they are going to be, I'm gonna use these. These are going to be 6 inches by 4 3/4. So 4 3/4 by 6, and we are going to score along the 6 inches at 1/2 inch for both of these pieces. So we're gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 1/2 inch, and we're going to fold and fold along the score lines. Then we're gonna bring our page, open this up, and we're going to add 1 on each side here, so on this side and on this side here. Okay, so we're gonna glue these pieces along the bottom. So I'm gonna start with this here, and you want to center and press down. Okay, and then same thing for this other one. Add the glue, and we're going to place these right there, and then these 2 are going to open down like this. So then we're gonna close and close and close. Page number 4, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and we are going to score along the 3 1/2 at 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're going to score and score, and then we're going to fold along the score lines, and we're going to glue these 2 pieces along the top and the bottom of our page. So we're gonna add the top. You want to center that just like that and press down, and then we're going to open that up, and I'm going to add this one along the bottom here, and you want to make sure that these 2 are lined up exactly the same here. Okay, so we're just gonna press down and press down. Let's do one piece at 4 7/8, 2 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one, and this one is going to be 5 7/8 and by 2. Okay, and we are going to score the one that is 5 7/8. We're going to score at 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, so we're just gonna do 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, and we're going to fold these 2 score lines, and we are going to glue this piece together. Oops, here with this other one. Okay, so we're just gonna put this one on top. So we're just making a larger loop section here, and just make sure these are lined up, and press down and press down here. Okay, and then we're going to bring back our page here, and we're going to add this loop onto, we're gonna pass this through the top piece here. So let's open this up and place that right there. Okay, and then we're going to slide this up, and you're going to put your bottom page here. Okay, let's scroll this all the way up, and then this is going to be like a little lock here to keep this section closed. Now for the inside, I'm going to cut one piece, and this is going to be 5 1/4 by 10 1/2, and we are going to score along the 10 1/2 at 5 and at 10, and we are going to fold along the score lines, and then we are going to slide this all the way up. Once you add your paper, this will be easier to slide, and then we're going to open and open, and this is going to go right at the center here. So we're going to glue this 1/2 inch section on the left side. So I'm going to add my glue, and we're going to line this up, press down. Okay, so then this is going to be an accordion fold. This is going to open up to the side, so we have a large accordion fold, and then we're gonna close this up and then close this, and this piece is going to slide down and secure here. Oh, let's pass this through, and there we go. Okay, so that's gonna go right there at the page number 5. I'm going to cut one piece at 5 1/2 by 6, and we're going to score this piece along the 6 inches. We're going to score at 1/2 and at 5 1/2, and along the 5 1/2 we are going to score at 1/2 inch, And we're gonna cut the corners to make these into a pocket here, and we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so fold and fold, and we're going to add this piece along the bottom of the page. So we're just gonna put that right here and add the glue, and then we're just going to line these up right there and press down. Okay, so press and press down. Then I'm going to cut another piece. This one is going to be 5.5 by 5. So I'm going to use this here. So we're going to do 5 by 5.5. And then I'm going to cut another one that is going to be 5 by 3.5. And we are going to score the piece that is 5.5 by 5. We're gonna score at 1/2 inch along the 5.5, and the other piece we are going to score at 1/2 inch along the 3.5, and we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so for this one here, I'm going to glue this piece along the left side of the page. Okay, so that's gonna go on top of that pocket. Press down, and then this other piece is going to go on along the top on the base page right here. Okay, so that's gonna go back there like that, and I'm going to add my glue and just place these right along the top right there. Okay, so press down, and then this is going to open up like that, and then we have a pocket here, and then we're gonna close this. Let me show you. Here's the pocket, and then this is gonna close, and then this is gonna close here on top. Page number 6, we are going to cut one piece at 4 3/4 by 7, and we are going to score along the 7 inches. We're going to score at 1/2, 1, and 1.5, and we are going to fold along the score lines. We're just gonna fold and fold. Then we're also going to cut one piece, and this one is going to be 6 inches. So let's see if I have a big enough piece. I'm going to use some of my scraps. So this is going to be 6 by 1.5, and I'm going to score along the 6 inches at 1/2 inch and at 5.5, and then we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, and then we are going to cut 3 pieces, and these are going to be 4 3/4 by 4. So I'm gonna do 4 3/4, and then we're gonna do this by 4, and we're gonna cut 3 of these. Okay, so 4 by 4 3/4. Then we're going to go ahead and glue these pieces on each one of these 1/2 inch sections. So I'm going to add glue on the first one, and this is going to go right here. So let me put that right there. So I'm just gonna lay this flat so I can line these up. Okay, so press down, and then we're going to add the next one right here, So on that 1/2 inch, and make sure that you are not gluing on top of the bending line. Okay, and then we're going to add the glue on this last piece right here and press down. Okay, so we're gonna press down. Then we're going to grab the little piece that we cut and we're gonna glue this on the page. So I'm going to stay about 1 inch away from the bottom edge, and we're going to glue this down. So I'm just gonna put that piece right there like that, and press down and press down. Then on this piece I'm going to open each one, so I'm just going to open and press down, open and press down, and we're going to slide these under that belly band. Okay, so we're just going to put that right here, and then you're going to center this piece, and we're going to close that up. So make sure you have that right against the edge. Okay, and then we're going to add glue. I'm just gonna hold it, and we're going to add glue on this belly band, just like that, and then we're going to close this up again and press down. Okay, so we're going to give this a second here to dry, and then you're going to pull down on your last 1/2 inch section here, and you're gonna have a little pull down waterfall. So let me go slow here. See, it's gonna go down, and then you're gonna pull these and then open the next one and the next one. So it's a sweet little waterfall, sliding waterfall. Page number 7, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so here we go, 5.5 by 5.5, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch on one side. Okay, so we're gonna score at 1/2 inch, and same thing for the other one, score at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to fold along the score lines, and we're going to add these 2 pieces here, one on each side. So I'm going to add my glue and add this piece right there and press down. Okay, so a little side note from the future: as I was editing the video, I realized my camera actually cuts the remaining of this page. So we have the 2 pages that are open, so I added one on each side. And then for the center, this piece here was cut at 4 3/4 by 11, and then we scored at 5 1/4 and at 10 1/2, and then I just glued that 1/2 inch along the top here at the center. So that piece is missing here from the tutorial, but now let's go ahead and continue to the next page. Page number 8, we are going to cut 1 piece at 5.5 by 5.5, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch along one side. So I'm just gonna score at 1/2 inch here, and we're going to fold along the score line, and we're going to glue this piece along the left side of the page. Okay, so we're just going to line this up and press down. Okay, then I'm going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be it's going to be 5.5 by 10. Let's do by 9.5 actually. So 5.5 by 9.5, and I'm going to score along the 9.5. We're going to score at 4 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to fold, and then along the corner here on this bending line, we are just going to fold a little ear. So I'm just gonna kind of like a dog ear, fold it right here, and I'm keeping this at a right angle, as you can see. So just press down, and then I'm going to open this up and push this triangle section in, and then close this again. Okay, so you want to put that dog ear towards the inside and press down, and then so this is gonna open up like this. Then I'm going to cut another piece. I'm just going to use my scrap pieces here, and this is going to be about 4, no, let's do 3.5 by 4.5. And I'm going to add this piece. We're going to glue this right on the corner, so you want to close this page and make sure nothing's coming out. I might have to make this smaller, definitely. So we're gonna do this at, let's see, actually if I put it like that, it will fit. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you want to put it landscape, and we're gonna glue this little corner on the left side of this corner section. So we're just gonna put that like this. So I'm going to add my glue on this side, and I'm going to place this like that. Okay, and then we're gonna close this and press down. Okay, so then when you open this page, this is gonna be a fun little pop-up place for a picture there. And we are going to glue this piece on the inside of this flap. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue this down. So I'm going to add my glue on this side and place this down. So we're gonna put this really close to the bending line, just like that. And then we're going to add glue on this top section, and we're gonna close this page and press down. Okay, so close that up and press down, and then again we're gonna open this up, and you're gonna have that pop-up place for a picture here. And those are going to be all of our pages. So now we are going to just put all of these together, and we are going to add these to our book. We are going to add our pages. I'm going to start with our last page, and we are going to glue this 1/2 inch right next to the back score line here, the back bending line. So we are just going to add the glue. Okay. And just place this right here and press down. Okay, so the size of the page is the same size as the book, so we need to make sure that it is just flush on the top and bottom. And then we are going to add the next page here. So we're going to add glue on this 1/2 inch, and we're going to line this up and place it right next to the other one and press and down. And then we're going to continue adding the next page, and we're just gonna add the glue and line this up right here, and then press down. Okay, and then we're going to add our last page, and this will go right over here, and press down. Okay, and there you go. Isn't this so cute? I wanted this book to look exactly like a big 8x8, just on a reduced, smaller, miniature version of a regular full-size album. And I think this turned out really cute. So now we are going to just add the inside covers, and I'm gonna keep those pretty flat and simple. So we're going to cut 2 pieces at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to cut 1 page. I'm gonna cut this one at 5 1/4 by 5 1/2 and score at 1/2 inch along the 5 1/2. Okay, so I'm gonna score here, and we're going to fold, and I'm going to add this piece on one of these pages. So I'm going to add my glue and just line this up here to the left and press down. Excuse me. Then I'm going to cut another piece, and I'm going to cut this at 5 by 8. Okay, and we are going to score. Let me see here. Maybe I will do 5 by 7. Yeah, I think 5 by 7. And we are going to score along the 7 inches at 1, 2, and 6. Okay, and we are going to fold along the score lines. I'm gonna fold and fold, and then I'm going to open this up to the side, and we're going to glue this piece here. So the section that has the 1 inch, we are going to glue on the opening panel. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue that right here next to that bending line. Press down. Okay, so this is the panel that opens here, and then the other side we're going to fold both of these score lines back. Okay, so fold this back and add glue on this 1 inch section here, and then we're just gonna keep those two folded and close the whole page and press down. Okay, and then when you open this up, you're gonna have your dimensional place to add a picture here. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this piece on the inside front cover. So I'm just gonna add my glue. Okay, and place this piece right here. Okay, so this page is a little bit shorter than the pages. Okay, and then we're gonna do the back. So for the back page, I'm just gonna do a pocket here. So I'm going to cut this piece from my leftovers at 6 1/4, and this is going to be by 3 1/4, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So we're gonna do 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch here, and then we are going to cut the corners and fold along the score lines and just add this pocket here on the back of the page, and we're just gonna add the glue. Add the glue here and place this piece right there and press down. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue that to the inside back cover. That's gonna go right back here. I always like adding a pocket on the last page for the most part. Okay, so we're just gonna put that right there and press down, and there you go. Now we have our cute little miniature mini album all finished. So there you go. I hope that you guys enjoy making this book with me. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who supports my channel, watching, commenting, leaving a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.